How's it going, everybody? I'm back. Oh, I went to court and it was awesome. I had a lot of fun. Um, of course, let me begin with starting off by saying this is not legal advice. If you want legal advice, go get yourself an attorney. I am not an attorney. This is not legal advice. And I love going to court. So I go to court and they call me up, of course, because in Glendale, first they have trial, kind of to supposedly, I guess, scare people not to fight. And so I was called forward and the room was packed. So I start off by asking the judge, of course. I asked him if he worked for the state, something to that effect. And in the end, he admitted, he said yes, he did work for the state of California, where I moved the court to dismiss this case since there's a conflict of interest. And interestingly enough, he said, well, that would be true in every case. And I said, well, that's what I'm, basically stating, but I'm not an attorney, like I said. I wouldn't know. And he said, well, he denied. And this is interesting when I realized what he was saying. He said he denied my objection. And it wasn't an objection, it was a motion. It's what it's called, an oral motion. You can file motions on paper, or you can say, I move the court to whatever. And that's an oral motion. But he didn't treat it as a motion. I don't think he wanted the record to reflect that. And I didn't catch it at the time. I caught it after. I was there with a couple of people who explained that to me, what he had stated. But when you're there, your blood is pumping and you're excited just to be there. So another thing that happened was that I cross-examined this officer for a good 35 minutes. Which was really interesting because as soon as I cross-examined him and had him admit many things, they kind of cut me off when they said, oh, is that all you have to say? I said, yeah, that's all I gotta say. He goes, okay, well, I'm gonna find you guilty, blah 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 blah. I said, that's fine, I don't care, I'm gonna appeal. You know where we're going with this. And they had this other attorney come in real quick and say, oh, and it's funny because the judge literally called them, so it's not like the attorney said, oh, excuse me, can I go? No, it was weird. So they pushed me to the side, of course, instead of cross-examining the rest of the cops, which I had a lot more questions, but I didn't want to kind of reveal all my questions to just one cop. And I guess hindsight's 20/20, because what they did was they told me to go downstairs to another courtroom, I guess, where it was empty. And I asked, and then I got a real judge, and I asked her, well, why? I don't know why they told me to come down. And she said, oh, for calendaring reasons, but everything's the same, don't worry. Now, mind you, upstairs where the traffic matter was being heard, it was being recorded. However, when I was with this judge downstairs, it was not being recorded. So she lied off the bat and said it's all the same, Anyways, and it was interesting because these other officers that I had to confront, this judge, she did something really interesting. And by the way, just so everybody can know, her name is Judge Leslie C. Green. Yep, I'm dropping names, I don't care. So anyways, what happened was I did my reservation so I can take it into federal court. I don't even think they have any idea what the hell that is until I'm sure it's too late later on down the road. But nonetheless, they kept thinking that I was objecting and saying that federal court had jurisdiction over state matters, which it's not what I was saying. But since they're too, I guess, arrogant and lazy to go research what I said, they're gonna find out probably after this video when they actually go do the research what I'm gonna do. But anyway, that's a different story. So I did my reservation. She starts saying, oh, well, okay, you can object. Federal court doesn't have jurisdiction. I have jurisdiction. I said, well, I object to that because I know you have no jurisdiction. And then so nonetheless, she goes, well, you're here because you requested a trial. And I said, no, objection, I didn't request a trial. I'm forced to be here because I have to defend myself. And she was just trying to use these little words, trying to contract me into this stupid thing, but it never worked. That's why I never sign any documents anymore. Before I used to sign under duress, but the only thing I sign under duress now is the citation. That's it. It's the only time they can take me to jail. So when I go in front of the court clerk for any other paperwork and I don't sign, they just put refuse to sign. And that's my evidence against them later on in federal court, so I could care less. You know? Anyway, so she said, no, you wanted your day in court. And I said, no, I object again. She kept saying that for some reason. And then she said, well, then you don't have to give evidence and we can just find you guilty. And I said, no, I object because I filed motions and I did this and that. And she goes, okay, well, then how do you plead? And now, mind you, we're in trial. How do I plead? I thought it was a little late for that. But I said, no, I'm not pleading anything. I object. She goes, well, then we're here at trial. Like, okay, well, then I guess we're at trial now. I said, okay, whatever. And then so I said, well, I object to that too. And she goes, well, then you don't want to offer any evidence? I said, well, I'm trying to defend myself. I am offering evidence. She goes, I haven't heard any. And then I said, well, then may I? And then she goes, you may. And then I said, well, thank you very much. And so I said, officer, isn't it true, first question, of course, that you're not an attorney? She jumps up, no. Because I had already pulled this off with Commissioner McTaggart, where I got this officer to admit all this stuff that it's going to be, I mean, they think, see, this is funny, it's costing me supposedly around $1,000 per case, around more or less, like it's 800 something, you know. And that's going to be nothing when federal court comes around the corner and I'm a pro se litigant and they got to pay for this city attorney or whoever the hell they want to pay for. $3,000-$4,000 to me, it's like, okay, now let's see how much you guys got to pay to defend yourselves, you know. So I was just like, whatever. And the judge is like, no, you have to offer evidence to me. I said, what? I said, I object. You're not going to let me cross-examine the witness? I was like, are you kidding me? I mean, I was literally screaming. I was like, I object. This is unconstitutional. I'm going to claim that it is. It's a violation of my rights. I can't even cross-examine the witness. And then she goes, no, you're not an attorney. I object to that. Like, what does that have to do that I'm not an attorney? I mean, I caught them in so much crap. I don't know what they're going to do. Now, here's the very interesting part, and I'm only going to say this because I could care less now. And I got to go back to court, I think, on Wednesday again, August 11th, 2010, Glendale. Anybody wants to come along and see if what I'm saying is true or not. That's if the cops show, of course. But anyway, so what happened was, she says, no, you're not an attorney. You can't cross-examine. Like, what? No way. You know, and so I objected, and then after she, you know, I mean, she did this little dog and pony show for the cops so they could save face, because by her not letting me cross-examine on appeal, I'm gonna win just off the bat, dude. That's a violation of rights. Federal court, that's already a violation of rights, to confront and face my accuser. It's just how stupid. She did a stupid bonehead move, and she tried to make it look like it was like nothing. But guess what, dude? I study law, you moron. Jeez. So anyway, what happened was, she started saying, well, no, you're not going to cross-examine the cop, blah, blah. I said, well, I object. Okay. And then she goes, well, do you have any evidence to offer? I said, I object to this whole proceeding. I said, we're not even recording? Well, I object for the record. And what she said, actually, I said, I object for the record. And she goes, well, we're not recording, so there is no record. I said, I object to that. This is unconstitutional again. This is a sham trial. There is no record. How can we prove anything? You know, I mean, it's just illogical. And they try to do this to get away with it. But they only do this when you got real good stuff, slamming them against the wall with it, and slapping them with the face with law, and they can't avoid it. So what do they got to do? They got to hide it. So this is what she did. She found me guilty. Okay? Now, the best part about this is that she found me guilty, and then she said, well, bail has been paid, and so now it's forfeited. And that's it for that case. And your failure to appear, it's a misdemeanor, blah, 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 but we're going to make it go away, and we're going to dismiss that for this time. She said that on all 4 cases. And the interesting part is I never paid bail. She knows I never paid bail. I was on my own recognizance because I said I'm not paying for something that I haven't been found guilty, and that's a violation of my rights. I'm innocent until proven guilty. Am I right? They said yes in the beginning and said, therefore, I ain't paying jack. So, I might make another video when I come back from the other on August 11th, and I'll give you guys an update. But man, they messed up bad.